I want to start this video by asking a question. Is water sticky? It might sound a bit odd, but think about it. When you put your hand in a bath of water, it comes out covered in water. Does this mean water sticks to your hand? To answer this question on an atomic level, we need to understand the concept of electronegativity. There are three main approaches to electronegativity: the Allred-Rochow, the Mulliken, and the Pauling approach. Although they differ in their methods of determining electronegativity values, they generally agree on the values for elements. So I won't explain each of these. Instead, I will generally focus on the concept as a whole, but if you're curious, feel free to leave a comment and I can explain. Electronegativity can be defined as the ability of an atom in a molecule or compound to attract electrons toward itself. So imagine each atom has a magnet, and the strength of this magnet determines its electronegativity. So the stronger the magnet, the more power the atom has to attract electrons. But why do atoms have different electronegativity values? To answer this, let's turn to the Pauling periodic table of electronegativities. Electronegativity increases from left to right across a period due to the increase in effective nuclear charge and the decrease in atomic radius. So this means that as you move across a period, the nucleus has a greater positive charge and the atom is smaller, so it pulls electrons more strongly. So for example, fluorine with an electronegativity value of 0.4 is the most electronegative element. On the other hand, electronegativity decreases down a group because additional electron shells increase the atomic radius and electron shielding, reducing the attraction between nucleus and bonding electrons. So this is why francium, for example, with an electronegativity value of around 0.7 is the least electronegative element. And understanding these trends helps us predict how electron density will be distributed in molecules. So take hydrochloric acid, for example. Chlorine, with its significant effective nuclear charge and relatively small atomic radius, has an electronegativity of around 3.16, while hydrogen has an electronegativity of 2.20. This difference creates an uneven distribution of electron density, with more electrons around chlorine, making it partially negative, and leaving hydrogen partially positive because it has less electron density around it. And this is what we call polarity, and it has important implications. For instance, consider a base like hydroxide. The oxygen in hydroxide is highly electronegative and will readily react with a partially positive hydrogen in hydrochloric acid, leading to an acid-base reaction. And in fact, much of what you learn in acid-base chemistry and organic chemistry can be predicted based on electronegativities. Electronegativity also influences solubility. Polar molecules like hydrogen chloride will dissolve easily in polar solvents like water because their positive and negative ends interact, making them dissolve more easily. But polar molecules will not easily dissolve in non-polar solvents like oil, which is made up of hydrocarbons with insignificant electronegativity differences between hydrogen and carbon, resulting in no significant interaction. And these are all interesting properties and implications, but how do we actually calculate electronegativity so we can determine if something's polar or non-polar? Well, let's calculate it for hydrochloric acid. So using the Pauling scale, we find that the electronegativity difference is simply the electronegativity of chlorine minus the electronegativity of hydrogen, and we take the absolute value. So we get 3.16 minus 2.20, which gives us 0.96. And this value indicates the bond's polarity, with a larger difference suggesting more ionic character and a smaller difference indicating a more covalent nature of the bond. And this calculation helps us understand whether a bond is more ionic or covalent, and therefore its polarity. And if you think about it, this aligns with what I said in my last video. bonds are not always purely covalent or ionic. They generally exist on a spectrum between the two, and electronegativity differences reflect that concept. So while there are various methods to calculate electronegativity, like the Allred-Rochow approach or the Mulliken approach, using the known values from the Pauling scale is often more straightforward and accurate, because they are derived from extensive empirical data which you can trust. So back to our original question, is water sticky? Yes, it is. Water's stickiness is due to the electronegativity resulting in polar bond interactions with other charged species, like salts or even water on or in your skin. And this is why water adheres to surfaces like your skin. So that's about it. Thank you for watching. I hope this explained and clarified the concept of electronegativity. Until next time.